Oops, that ended a lot sooner than I thought it would. Hope you weren't in the dark too long. Hi, I'm Skip Alzheimer. Welcome to the AV Geeks Lunchtime Streaming Show, where we watch old 16mm films that sometimes end sooner than you thought. I was propagating the link. That's what I do. Spend a lot of time copying and pasting. When I start, I broadcast to two places, to YouTube and Twitch. Then I take the link from YouTube and I put it in all the Facebook groups and pages that I have. Then I put it in Instagram. Then I put it in Blue Sky. Then I put it in Tumblr. I still have a Tumblr account that I use. Where else? I don't do Twitter anymore. I hate Twitter. But yeah, so that's what I spend time doing. And so sometimes I'm not looking at the screen. So today is interesting. I've been going through some hard drives, trying to find trying to find films that I haven't shown yet. And I have a couple. And some that I haven't shown in a while. So, I mean, we've been doing this for more than 5 years. So there are some that I showed very early on that I am happy to reshare with you. This first one is actually, though, from the National Archives. It's called United States Today. And it's made by the United States Information Society, which was the propaganda wing of the United States government. So it is very pro-American. So just be aware. And it's a pro-American that I don't mind. It's actually a very inclusive pro-American. Anyways, here we go.
This land they've been coming for over 300 years. From Britain, Spain and France, from Holland, Germany and Scandinavia, from Eastern and Central Europe, from the Mediterranean, Africa and Asia, from every corner of the globe. They and their descendants tamed a wilderness and created one nation, the United States of America. Memorials mark the first settlements on the Atlantic coast. Boston was founded in 1630. Here, 146 years later, the Declaration of Independence was read from the balcony of Old State House. Like other bustling American cities, Boston has its quieter corners. Landmarks, like the flower market, give it a reassuring sense of tradition and time. Harvard University is just over 300 years old, the first to be founded in this young country. "200 miles southwest, New York City is a world by itself. Once a small Dutch village, it is now a giant with 1,000 buildings reaching to the sky. A gateway to the United States. Here, 170 million people trace their ancestry to many nations. The variety of their origins and cultures, the diversity of their talents have enriched the country. Through them, an area almost the size of Europe was united within one border and made to prosper. A fast express train takes 3 days to cross the United States from ocean to ocean, past farmlands spread out as far as the eye can see. Past cities and industrial centers. In the west, the open prairie rolls out to the foothills of the Rocky Mountains. Cowboys round up their cattle. Dams harness the great rivers. Churches mark the pioneers' faith. The vastness of their country inspired the American people to do many things boldly. They had a large land to settle. They pioneered from New York to San Francisco, from the Atlantic to the Pacific. The United States grew behind vast oceans to east and west. Along its 1,500-mile border with Mexico and its 3,000-mile border with Canada, the only cannon are historic relics. The three neighbors feel secure in the North American continent. Today, the United Nations headquarters stands in New York, a daily reminder of the need for nations to work together for peace. To help secure that peace, the United States seeks to foster the economic health and independence of free nations everywhere. It supports also a series of regional security treaties consonant with the Charter of the UN. World events have made the American people keenly aware of their international responsibilities. They give careful thought to their nation's role in world affairs. In 1952 and again in 1956, they elected president a man who has played a vital role for peace, Dwight D. Eisenhower. As Supreme Commander, Eisenhower had led the Allied armies in the liberation of Europe. There, for the second time in a generation, American boys on alien soil felt the vast relief of war's end. They shared the joy and promise of peace, a lasting peace, they hoped. They went home, the Yanks who had helped repel aggression in Europe and Asia. Their country sought to help them resume a normal life. Schools opened their doors to millions of veterans. Ever since it began, the United States has seen a constant growth of education. A high school diploma is now almost taken for granted. Every year, 2.5 million students enroll in the universities and professional schools. Many of the young men who'd fought in North Africa, Okinawa, and Normandy went back to the farms. They went back to working the earth in the quiet rhythm of the seasons. Most Americans have a keen sense of fraternity. Should a neighbor's livelihood be jeopardized, they are quick to lend their labor and their time to help rebuild. This tradition stems from the days of the pioneers. It's this same trait that moved the American people to come to the aid of their neighbors overseas after the war. Through UNRWA, the Marshall Plan, and CARE, they sent food, supplies, and machinery in a national effort to help world recovery. Today, economic aid and technical assistance programs continue with many countries. To preserve the common freedom, the United States also pledged her military strength. U.S. forces again left for Europe to stand with their allies of the 15-nation North Atlantic Treaty Organization as guardians. In the Middle East, the U.S. gives full support to the Baghdad Pact and is prepared to bolster the security and well-being of the area. As a member of the 8-nation Southeast Asia Treaty Organization, America contributes to the defense of the SEATO area. In the Western Hemisphere, the United States and its neighbors have dedicated themselves to their common defense in a series of agreements starting with the Rio Treaty of 1947. On patrol is the world's first atomic-powered submarine, the Nautilus. A vital factor of the free world's air power is the long-range jet. An imposing array of these American planes are ready to defend the peace, and to man them, airmen expertly trained. Behind these efforts for collective security stands the hope of the American people expressed by their elected representatives in Congress, that given peace, the nations of the world can build a better life for all. To that end, the United States is sharing with other nations its knowledge of nuclear energy for peaceful purposes. As President Eisenhower has repeatedly said, the atomic age must become the blessing, not the curse of mankind. Atomic energy is already producing electric power, as in this experimental plant in the state of Idaho. The use of nuclear energy means further progress in almost every field of science. It seems certain that peace in this atomic era can lift mankind to new heights of well-being. Meanwhile, conventional natural resources continue to serve the free world community. The United States produces nearly half of the world's petroleum. Another contribution is the abundance made possible by modern farming techniques. New methods have made the miner's job safer and more rewarding. The more advanced mines have become highly mechanized underground factories. "1,200 blast furnaces have a capacity of 130 million tons of steel a year. What makes for America's record output? It's not only her natural resources, it's mass production, constant modernization of plants, and the search for new techniques. Today, nearly 94% of heavy industrial labor is done by machine. The manufacturing industries serve a large internal market and supply a sizable output for world trade. The machine has increased the individual worker's skill, given him time and opportunity to develop special talents. America's working men and women are the first to benefit from her economy. Collective bargaining by labor and management assures a fair sharing of the national income. Since the war, 10 million families have moved into new homes. The trend is away from city apartments to home ownership in the suburbs. After a hard day's work, a man looks forward to a home he can be proud of. It's time to settle down to the joys of family life, the quiet, intimate hours of the home. The children forever asking for just one more story. On holidays, families take to the roads. In the spring and summer, they go to see their favorite baseball teams in action. This particular sport is sometimes called the national pastime. In the fall, Americans throng to football games. Their brand is different from soccer, but to them, it's just as exciting. But a man likes to go off by himself, too. That fish sure makes the day a perfect one. On days off, many like to putter in their gardens, just taking it easy. It's a good day to go on a picnic in one of the many public parks. For leisure or study, there are the many public libraries in the United States. They are an important part of the nation's cultural life. There is, of course, a vigorous contemporary American literature, and among U.S. readers, a widespread appreciation of foreign writers, past and present. American art flourishes in a climate of freedom and exuberance. Typically, there is much participation in this field. Amateur as well as professional interest is strong. U.S. communities sponsor hundreds of symphony orchestras and vie with one another to support music of all kinds. In music, Americans find an easy kinship with the culture of other nations. When that music was written, most of America was a wilderness. The people who settled the wilderness came as immigrants. And this is what they built. Chicago, Detroit, Minneapolis, St. Paul, St. Louis, New Orleans, Pittsburgh. The United States is young, as nations go, and fortunate in what it has been able to accomplish in so short a time. It owes much to older traditions and ideals, to concepts of freedom and law given fresh meaning on new soil. Among these principles is the echoing resolve of Abraham Lincoln, that government of the people, by the people, and for the people shall not perish from the earth.
Yes, propaganda, but oh boy, I'm loving that propaganda. Living during that time in the 50s, it doesn't show a lot of the problems, and there certainly were problems, but holy cow, what a great time. That I'm sad. I lament. So let's jump to the early 80s and talk about teenagers on drugs. This is Wasted.
It's a long way back from nowhere to where I am today. It's hard to believe that not very long ago I lived my life for drugs. I was an addict. Not addicted to any one thing, but to everything I could get my hands on. From pot to pills to alcohol to speed. Getting off drugs is so painful. A lot of people don't make it. But I was lucky. I survived. And today I live my life for me. But I remember how it was. The first time I got high, I was 8 years old. And this guy that was a lot older than me turned me on to some pot. And from then on, it was really downhill, you know? I'm not saying that what happened to me happens to everybody. All I'm saying is from then on, it was downhill.
He was my little brother, and he was sweet, and he was funny, and he was real involved with his friends in sports, and then one day, he was different. It's hard to watch someone you love destroy themselves, and it's more hard to watch someone you love destroy themselves and pull everyone down with them. And that's what Tim was doing to my mother and I. When Tim started getting high, and when his behavior changed, and his attitude changed, you know, even his looks changed. His most intense, his most brutal behavior was when he wasn't high, when he needed to get high. We'd have to watch what we said around him. He was like a time bomb, you know? And this time he went into the kitchen. And we were both in the kitchen, and we were yelling at each other. And the next thing I know, he had a knife in his hand. And he was chasing me around the house with this knife. And it was real difficult because it wasn't like this was my brother Timmy. You know, half of me's going, there's this animal after me with a knife. And the other half of me's going, this is my brother. There haven't been very many times in my life where I've ever been that frightened. And he chased me around the house, and then I went into the bathroom and I locked the door, and I pulled all the drawers so they would block the door in case he, you know, used the knife to unlock it. And I remember I just sat down against the door, and I just cried, and I was shaking, and I heard him throw the knife away. I think at that point he realized what he was doing, what his anger had brought him to do. I think he totally freaked out. It took a long time for my mother and I to trust him again, to really trust him again. He lost that. I loved him deep down inside because I was obligated to. He was my brother, but I didn't like it. I hated him for what he was doing to us and himself. I hated him as a person because he was always wasted.
The first thing you start to lose is your mind. When you smoke dope, your memory just kind of fades away. Until one day, you can't even find your stash. Come on, man, it's here. I know it's here. Somewhere. I put it right here. I think. Where did I put it?
He used to steal money, and he'd steal whatever he could to get, that he could get money for, that he could trade, so he could, get drugs.
I used to rip off silverware, silver platters, calculators, watches, costume jewelry that I could get $0.25 a piece for. Anything that would keep me getting high.
Tim, where are your grandmother's candlesticks I asked you to clean?
What candlesticks?
The ones you were cleaning this morning.
I don't know.
I thought I saw you take them out to the car.
Oh, those candlesticks. I gave them to some guy. Why, did you want them?
Some guy? You gave them to some guy?
Yeah, for a few bucks. No big deal.
Timmy, those candlesticks have been in the family for over 50 years.
When I started getting high, I don't know why, but I became rebellious against school. I mean, I'm not saying that everybody likes school. Some people, almost everybody I know doesn't like school, but they follow through with it. They'll do it, only because they know that it'll help them out in the future. But when I started getting high, I hated school. I was almost always late. I was always so stoned, I never cared about doing my homework.
Okay, class, you've had over a week to complete your homework assignment. Now remember, this paper will count for 1/3 of your final grade.
Oh, no.
The most fortunate thing was that my mother didn't go through a long period of denial. And that's the most damaging thing for the family and the drug abuser. She didn't bury the problem and hide it in a closet, which is what a lot of people do because it's ugly. Nobody wants to look at their kid and see a drug abuser.
Tim, I don't understand. You used to get such good grades.
No big deal. It doesn't matter much.
Sit down a minute. Tell me what's going on, Tim. Maybe I can help you if there's something wrong.
There ain't nothing wrong. I got some lousy grades, so what? So what?
I want you to tell me the truth. Are you using drugs?
Oh, hey, wait a minute. How can you say that? How can you accuse me of that? My own mother.
Well, just the same. I think you should stay home every night until you catch up on some of your schoolwork.
What? Don't tell me what to do. I can run my own life without you telling me what to do.
I'm not going to take this anymore. I've had it with his lies. He's becoming a monster. Who does he think he's fooling? I know he's using drugs. I've got to make him stop before he kills himself.
The peer pressure was incredible. The peer pressure at school with the attitudes were, if you didn't get high before school, you didn't need to go to school. If you didn't get high after school, then something's wrong. You're starting to stay straight. If you didn't get high during school, then you're being watched by the principal. I always felt the need to go smoke a number before school in the alley because everybody else did. Or at least I thought everybody did. Some kids knew better. They knew how to say no.
Hey, Tim, how you doing?
Oh, hi, man. Yeah, I'm real good. Real good. How are you? You want a hit?
No, I don't do that stuff.
Everybody, when they go under extreme pressure, whether they create it or it's thrust upon them, they have to have something to help them cope with the pressure. Some people read a book. Some people go see a movie. Some people get involved in sports. Tim got involved in drugs.
Nobody likes sports if they're getting high. I used to love to play soccer. But when I started getting high all the time, I'd go to the games stoned. Then I'd get stoned again when I got there. I thought it would help me play better, but all it did was screw me up. When I'd smoke just one joint, it was like pumping 10 cigarettes into my lungs. Just one joint. And it's not like I'd get straight again right away. It takes hours. And marijuana actually stays in your body for over a month. It slows you down until you just don't care whether you play or not, or win or not. And pretty soon, it starts to show.
Tim, it's a tie score. Keep them from scoring. You're in.
I didn't know what was happening. I'd try to play, and the other guys would run circles around me. It's a losing battle when you try and maintain a normal life and stay high at the same time.
Hey, man, what's happening?
I blew the game.
Just a stupid game, man. Why even bother play?
Yeah.
Yeah, who cares, man? Just get high and forget it.
I would say yes because my best friend beside me was saying yes. And I'd do whatever he did. Then it got to the point to where whether I wanted to say yes or no, I couldn't because I needed more.
The problem is that in today's society, especially among kids, taking drugs is accepted socially. It's encouraged. And what most people don't realize is that once you start taking the drugs, you don't know when you're going to step over that line and become a drug addict.
When I first started getting high, it was easy. I mean, it was no big deal, you know. Just got high every once in a while. And then it started to slowly get to the point to where it was a big deal. Where I couldn't go out on the weekends and have fun unless I was stoned, or unless I was drunk, or unless I was tripping, or whichever way I got high. Got to the point where I couldn't have fun unless I was loaded. Hey, you want to get high?
No.
Hey, come on, it's all right. Really, you'll get into it. Come on.
Why do you want me to get high so bad?
Why not?
I don't recognize you anymore, Tim. You don't care about anyone. You don't care about me. The only thing you care about is getting high.
Come on, don't waste your time with her.
This party's pretty slow, man.
We ought to rip off some wheels tonight and really get it on.
What about your old lady's car, man?
Well,
Yeah, let's go for it.
Okay, I've got him. Let's roll the car out and then start it up. I thought I was so cool. We'd drive around doing all kinds of drugs and drinking at the same time. That's what happens. First you start smoking dope and drinking. And the next thing you know, you're taking pills and acid and speed. Then your head gets so messed up you start doing really dumb things. I mean, I was lucky I didn't kill myself or anyone else. When you get blown away like that and you drive, something's bound to happen. Oh, God, what am I gonna do now? My mother's gonna kill me.
It's only a dumb old car anyway.
Yeah, see you around, man.
We better split before the cops get here.
Sure, the friends you have are real good ones. I know when I'd get an ounce, I'd have friends popping up everywhere. They'd stick by me until I got into trouble or I ran out of money. When the ounce was gone, they were gone. Off to the next guy who had something else to get high on. What am I gonna do? I can't keep going on like this. I can't stop drinking. I can't stop smoking dope. I can't stop taking pills. I can't stop doing speed. I swore when I first started, I wouldn't let it get to me. But I don't even know who I am anymore. I feel like a little kid who's becoming an old man overnight. This stuff is killing me, but I don't want to die. I need a drink, man. No, I don't have a drink. Got any dope, man? Dope? No. No more dope. Acid, man. I need acid. No, I don't have any acid.
Got any pills, man? Got any pills?
No pills, no pills.
You need more drugs. Drugs kill.
No!
Oh no. Oh my God, I'm gonna be sick. I'm gonna be sick.
Tim just started taking drugs socially. I mean, sure, I'll smoke that joint with you. I'll be cool. You know, I'll have fun because I can handle it. And he didn't even know what hit him. He just woke up one day, looked at himself in the mirror, and he's a drug addict. This junkie's staring back at him, you know? It's just incredible. It's just incredible that one thing could become so important to a person's life to make him literally try and kill himself, because that's what he was doing. If Tim hadn't gotten sober when he did, I mean, you've got to wonder, you know, because drugs kill, and these people are slowly committing suicide, and they're not just killing themselves, they're taking everybody with them.
I remember I called up to a drug abuse program, and I made 4 calls, because the first 3 I hung up, because they said the name of the drug abuse program, and I hung it up because I didn't want to be known as a drug addict. I just wanted to be known as a person that socially uses anything that'll get him stoned. And that 4th call is what saved me.
I can think of kids I knew in high school that are dead over overdoses or drug-related accidents, car accidents, or suicides. I can think of other kids I know that went to prison because they were selling dope. I'm not proud to say it, but it's true, you know?
The things I lost when I was getting high. Self-respect.
I used to walk down the street with my head down. I was ashamed of myself. I didn't like people. Another thing I lost when I was getting high was my relationship with my family. There was no growth there. Everybody else, all my brothers and sisters, while they were growing, I was getting fried. I lost my friendships with the good guys I used to go to school with, all the winners, the people that were on the soccer team, and the teachers. When I started getting high, they didn't want any part of me, and I didn't want any part of them.
Right now, I'm starting to learn things that I should have learned when I was 9 years old, when I was 10 years old.
Timmy's great today. I mean, he's my brother. And he never was before.
There are so many good aspects of staying straight.
The best times I ever had were doing things I really liked. Playing sports and winning. Doing stuff in school like drama and music. Or maybe just getting to know someone really well. Someone who can be a friend. A real friend. Those are real highs. Highs that make me happy I'm alive. And make me want to keep on living.
It's not worth it. If I could take that risk again, I would not take the risk. I would not want to risk my life for some pot.
It was a little tedious, but man, that dream sequence, so good. So good. Yeah, big fan. All right, let's see. What do we got? We haven't watched this in a while, but it's real good. And the music is done by Jim Stringer, who wrote Shake Hands with Danger and did a lot of music for and soundtrack work for Centron. This is Office Safety Thrill Seekers.
If you're like most office workers, you probably don't give a lot of thought to your safety on the job. This is understandable. After all, an office job doesn't seem to present as many possibilities for serious accidents as some other occupations. Yes, the fact is, an office job just doesn't seem all that hazardous. And that's a problem. You see, some people enjoy living dangerously. They crave the excitement that an occasional accident creates. For these people, we'll call them thrill seekers, an office job just seems too safe. Perhaps that's why they make such a concentrated effort to break all the safety rules. Take a simple desk drawer, for example. The safety rule here is, of course, close the drawer as soon as you're finished using it. But true thrill seekers are not afraid to ignore this simple rule and thereby break their usual office routine. If not, a leg. File cabinets can be used to stir up some excitement, too. You probably use the handle to open and close a drawer because you think it's the safe thing to do. And, of course, you're right. Some workers, however, prefer to add an element of danger to this routine task by making it a test of their hand speed. They just grip the drawer by the edge and give it a healthy shove.
Oh!
Of course, only dedicated thrill seekers will try their hands at this sport. Athletic thrill seekers sometimes participate in a more advanced form of file cabinet competition. They simply open more than one upper drawer of a top-heavy cabinet and then try to hop out of the way when the thing falls over. Supply cabinets offer some thrilling possibilities as well. Normally, office workers find their visit to the supply cabinet to be a dreadfully safe and uneventful experience. That's because safety promoters insist that all materials be stored inside the cabinet. But office thrill seekers have learned that storing a few things on top of the cabinet makes the quest for a box of staples much more challenging. They're the people who believe that a man's reach should always exceed his grasp. It's a masochistic belief at best. The thrill seeker's enthusiasm for taking chances is especially evident whenever things have to be lifted or moved about the office. Of course, sensible workers never try to lift more than they can easily carry. And when lifting, they keep their back straight and their head up, letting their legs do most of the work. Thrill seekers, though, are rarely concerned with proper technique and too impatient to let the maintenance crew handle those really heavy items. Perhaps these facts explain that peculiar posture displayed by so many office thrill seekers. If you're a safety-minded person, you probably use a stool or stepladder to reach high shelves. It is, after all, the safe thing to do. Office thrill seekers, on the other hand, employ more adventuresome methods of elevation. One can only marvel at their willingness to risk life and limb. In their quest for excitement, creative thrill seekers find ways to inject an element of danger into all kinds of ordinarily safe office routines. For example, there are probably few activities in life safer than sitting properly at a desk. Safe, but hardly a thrill a minute. So the thrill seeker prefers to perch on the edge of the chair, thus rendering the act of sitting significantly more hazardous. Those who have mastered this front flop technique without serious injury usually move on to a more advanced and dangerous maneuver, the thrilling back flip from the supine position.
I know it, I'm bringing it with me.
Most thrill seekers have found a simple way to make their comings and goings more exciting. They come and go faster. True, running to that important meeting isn't as safe as walking, but it's certainly good exercise. Plus, Running enables thrill seekers to make a striking impression on their associates, especially at those blind corners. You've probably noticed that there's little excitement in maintaining safe, uncluttered aisles and walkways. Office thrill seekers have noticed this too, and that's why they delight in transforming those aisles and walkways into a hazardous obstacle course. They employ all kinds of items for this purpose. Telephone and electric cords, a strategically placed purse or briefcase, even beverage spills, which, of course, they never bother to wipe up. Here, their beverage spills, litter, and pencils can make for a truly memorable business trip, especially for those who fail to use the handrail. Like stairways, those solid doors found in most offices offer significant potential for excitement. Experience has taught you to approach such doors with caution and to grasp the handle before getting in front of the door. Then, if someone opens the door suddenly, you can easily avoid being struck. This is important because office thrill seekers make it a point to shove every door open with as much force as possible. They get a kick out of teaching others just how dangerous a door can be. One of the hallmarks of office thrill seekers is their careless disregard of even the most elementary safety rules, including those dealing with fire prevention. Hence, more serious-minded workers should always be alert and ready to take corrective action. It's also wise to know where fire extinguishers are located and how to use them. Another distinguishing characteristic of thrill seekers is their devil-may-care attitude toward office equipment. While safety-minded workers heed those warnings to be careful and avoid distractions when using a paper cutter,
How about lights?
thrill seekers prefer to live dangerously, a fact which may account for the uncommon shortness of their neckwear and/or fingers. Of course, sensible workers are especially careful with electrical equipment. They unplug and report any electrical device that develops a short circuit or other malfunction. Thrill seekers, on the other hand, refuse to be intimidated by a few frayed wires, sparks, or tingling sensations. Instead, they regard any sudden surge of electricity as a small price to pay for a more exciting life. If you have any co-workers who show signs of being thrill seekers, enjoy their company while you can. After all, they tend to be a vanishing breed.
So who is that voice? Some of you said Rex Allen, which is a pretty good guess, but that's not who it is. It is Charles Oldfather. One of you guessed that. And let me see if I can find, where did I put this? If you don't know who Charles Oldfather is, let me play this clip. This is from the ABC film The Day After.
We'll have a NERA task force advising each county agricultural cooperative.
Task force? Where the hell do you think they're coming from?
We're just going to have to channel animal feed to human needs.
Does that voice sound familiar at all? It is the voice of the narrator and singer of Shake Hands with Danger. Charles Oldfather did a lot of work with Centron, did a lot of voiceover work, and occasionally would appear in some of the films. I think he was a professor at University of Kansas, and he was involved in, he did some amateur drama stuff there. And there was a building dedicated to him that used to house all of the Centron stuff. And I think that's been, I don't know the status of that. That might have been torn down. But University of Kansas has supposedly all of, in Lawrence, Kansas, has all of the Centron materials that a couple of us have been trying to like needle in and see if we can get access to them. No luck so far. But yeah, Charles Oldfather, singer of Shake Hands with Danger, and everybody who listens to Shake Hands with Danger thinks that it's somebody else singing, like Waylon Jennings. Somebody said Johnny Cash. No, it was just him. Thanks so much for joining us today. Very much appreciate your eyeballs and you tuning in and watching a pretty amazing drug film from 1983. I think they get more tedious after that, but that one with the animation, so good. If you like what you saw, please consider hitting the thumbs up or the like or the subscribe button. You can also donate via the super thanks button, ko-fi.com/abgeeks or patreon.com/abgeeks. You can also watch other films that we have on our channel. Those are great ways to support us. That advertising gives us pennies that they put in our little tin cup. And those pennies add up. So, and that they add up to pay for rent on storage units and for new shelving units and stuff like that. So it is all very much appreciated. But at the very least, showing up and watching. As a reminder, if you're in the North Carolina Triangle area, I will be opening for the Found Footage Festival in at the Rialto, 8 o'clock this Saturday. I'm trying to cook up something that's related to an anniversary because it's their 20th anniversary show. And I've known them pretty close to 20 years, like 19 years is when I first did a show with them back in the day. And I don't think I liked them initially. I think that I had problems with their format. I have since changed my tune with that. Yeah, it's always a good show. Probably going to be some male nudity because that's how they roll. And also just insane stuff. So anyways, if you're around, I'll be there. And hopefully you will too. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow. Everybody have a great rest of your day, and we will talk soon. Bye.